Well, it seemed like everything kind of fell into place. Like you say, I've been a Sinatra fan forever.
On a Maui porch, under a moonlit sky, Willie Nelson, now 92, cradles Trigger, his weathered Martin guitar, its strings humming with regrets too heavy for words. Kris Kristofferson, who passed away on September 28, 2024, was more than a friend or bandmate. He was the poet whose songs kept Willie from drowning in despair. "I never told him his music was my lifeline," Willie whispers, his voice cracking like a dry Texas plain. Willie Hugh Nelson was born on April 29, 1933, in Abbott, Texas, a town of 300 souls battered by the Great Depression's unrelenting grip. With 1 in 4 Americans jobless, farms failing, and dust storms choking hope, Abbott's fields withered under a scorching sun. Muriel Marie, Willie's mother, with strong Cherokee heritage, left when he was 6 months old, chasing oilfield jobs in Wichita Falls. She never returned, her absence a wound that shaped Willie's mournful melodies. His father, Ira, a mechanic with restless eyes, remarried and vanished, leaving Willie and his sister Bobby to their grandparents. William Alfred and Nancy Elizabeth Nelson, Arkansas transplants scraping by on Texas soil. Alfred, a blacksmith whose hammer rang with defiance, and Nancy, a piano teacher coaxing hymns from worn keys, raised them in a shack insulated with yellowed newspapers against biting prairie winters. At 7, Willie picked cotton after school, hands bleeding for pennies to buy beans, cornbread, and the occasional Sunday chicken. Hunger was a constant companion, but music was a sanctuary. At 6, Alfred gifted him a $3 Stella guitar, its wood scarred but resonant. "Sing your soul," Alfred urged. Willie did, penning a gospel tune at 7, a boy's prayer for brighter days. Bobby, 2 years older, wove her piano into his chords, their harmony a shield against hardship. Nancy, rooted in Abbott's 1899 Methodist Church, banned dancing as sinful, demanding choir hymns. Willie sang with a pure voice, but behind the barn, he stole sips of beer and drags of cigarettes, fearing eternal damnation. Bob Wills's Texas Playboys crackled on the radio, their Western swing a rebellion Nancy called the devil's music. In 1998, Willie purchased that church to save it from demolition, a tribute to roots that both bound and freed him. In 1939, pneumonia claimed Alfred at 56, devastating 6-year-old Willie. "It was like losing my father twice," he said at 92, the pain still raw. That same year, pneumonia nearly took Willie too. Medicine was crude, and child mortality was high. He survived, forging a resilience that carried him through decades of storms. By 10, Willie was a prodigy in dusty overalls, playing Abbott's honky-tonks, his guitar dwarfing his small frame, singing Jimmy Rogers, Hank Williams, Roy Acuff, Hoagie Carmichael, and Billie Holiday. He out-earned cotton pickers, with tips buying strings and dreams. His influences were vast. Ernest Tubbs' honky-tonk wail, Lefty Frizzell's heartbreak, Bob Wills's swing, Czech polka bands from nearby West Texas, Mexican corridos from migrant workers, gospel from church, blues from sharecroppers, jazz from Django Reinhardt's radio static, and Frank Sinatra's smooth croon. High school balanced sports, football halfback, basketball guard, baseball shortstop, with music. At 14, he booked gigs for Hank Snow, Bob Wills, Floyd Tillman, and Leon Payne, his promoter's instinct as sharp as his chords. In 1950, at 17, Willie enlisted in the Air Force, driven by patriotism. 9 months in, a back injury from hauling heavy equipment forced a medical discharge, shattering his military dreams. In 1952, he married Martha Matthews, a 16-year-old Cherokee firebrand, who gave birth to Lana in 1955, Susie in 1957, and Billy in 1958. Their marriage, marked by violence and infidelity, ended in 1962. Drifting to Waco, he DJ'd at KHBR, spinning tales and tunes. In 1956, he moved to Vancouver, Washington, for a radio gig at K-Van. There, he cut his debut single. No Place for Me, backed with Lumberjack, on his own Willie Nelson Records, selling 3,000 copies with $1 autographed photos. Starday Records rejected it, but Willie persisted, washing dishes, selling Bibles, pitching vacuum cleaners, and facing rejection at a 1957 Ozark Jubilee audition. Texas called him back. Fort Worth's honky-tonks were battlegrounds, nightly brawls sparked by whiskey. Willie hired Paul English, a drummer with a menacing goatee and .38 revolvers, to protect his gigs. They faced drunk crowds, with Willie fighting when set lists were challenged, mastering the art of taming chaos. In 1959, facing eviction, he sold Family Bible for $50 to Claude Gray, who took it to number 7 on the country charts. In 1960, Nashville beckoned, and a 27-year-old Willie arrived penniless, sleeping in his car. One snowy night, despair led him to lie in a gutter, tempting death. Friend Charlie Dick's timely rescue saved him. At Tootsie's Orchid Lounge, songwriter Harlan Howard heard his set, securing him $50 a week at Pamper Music, a fragile lifeline. In 1961, Crazy, born from marital strife with Martha, became Patsy Cline's crossover anthem, reaching number 2 country and number 9 pop. Hello Walls hit number 1 for Farron Young. Funny How Time Slips Away topped the charts for Billy Walker. And Pretty Paper reached number 6 for Roy Orbison in 1963. Willie earned mere pennies as labels devoured the profits, fueling his distrust of Nashville's polished machine. His 1962 debut album, And Then I Wrote, featured Crazy, Hello Walls, and Funny How Time Slips Away, peaking at number 14. Heat 14 on the country charts, but flopping commercially. He returned to selling Encyclopedia Americana and teaching guitar for $5 a lesson. Liberty Records' Touch Me hit number 7 country in 1962, but Willie's raw, unpolished voice clashed with their glossy sound. By 1972, RCA Records dropped him, rejecting his unfiltered soul. Austin's Armadillo World Headquarters, a haven for hippies and cowboys, welcomed him with open arms. With long hair flowing, Willie found his tribe. In 1973, in a New York hotel bathroom, he scrawled Shotgun Willie on a sanitary pad box. The album reached number 41 on the country charts, but in Austin, it ignited a revolution, birthing the outlaw country movement. Phases and Stages in 1974, a concept album about divorce, told from her side and his, peaked at number 34, with Bloody Mary Morning as its raw heart. In 1977, Bahamas Customs found marijuana in Willie's jeans, landing him in jail. Friend Hank Cochran smuggled beers to his cell. Released, Willie leaped in joy, spraining his ankle and landing in the ER. He remains banned from the Bahamas. In 1981, while swimming in Hawaii, his lung collapsed from chain-smoking 2 packs daily, canceling 18 shows and costing $900,000. He quit tobacco but continued cannabis, later switching to vaporizers to preserve his lungs. In 1994, asleep in his Mercedes on a Texas highway, police found a joint in the ashtray, leading to another arrest. Willie turned it into a crusade, co-founding NoRML's Texas chapter and advocating for marijuana legalization. The Highwaymen, Willie, Waylon Jennings, Johnny Cash, and Kris Kristofferson, formed after a 1984 Christmas special in Switzerland. Their 1985 album, Highwayman, went platinum, with the title track hitting number 1 country and number 92 pop. Highwayman 2 in 1990 reached number 4 country, and The Road Goes On Forever in 1995 hit number 42, featuring It Is What It Is. A 1960s folk group, the Highwaymen, sued in 1990, but their case, led by a federal judge member, failed. The country supergroup toured from 1985 to 1995, playing over 100 shows and grossing $10 million. Their 1986 TV movie, Stagecoach, starred all 4, blending their outlaw personas. In 1990, the IRS claimed Willie owed $32 million due to illegal tax shelters by Price Waterhouse. They seized his Texas ranch, recording studio, piano, and 20 gold records. Daughter Lana hid Trigger in Hawaii. Fans, led by football coach Darrell Royal, bought his assets at auction and leased them back. Willie recorded the IRS tapes. Who'll Buy My Memories in 1992, just him and Trigger, funneling $3.6 million to the IRS, settling the debt by 1993. The scars lingered. Personal tragedies cut deeper. His first marriage to Martha, from 1952 to 1962, was marred by violence and infidelity, producing Lana, Susie, and Billy. His second marriage to Shirley Colley, from 1963 to 1971, ended when she found a hospital bill for Paula. Born to Connie Koepka in 1969, his third marriage to Connie, from 1971 to 1988, bore Amy. Another affair with Mary Haney produced Renee, revealed by a hospital bill, ending that marriage. His fourth wife, Annie D'Angelo, married in 1991, gave birth to Lucas in 1988 and Micah in 1990, who now tour with Willie and Lucas Nelson and promise of the Real and Particle Kid, Annie. Met on the set of Stagecoach in 1986, saved him from ruin. "Stop drinking," she demanded. Cannabis replaced whiskey, restoring his joy. Billy's suicide in 1991 at age 33, battling depression, shattered Willie amid the IRS crisis. "Those were my darkest days," he wept. His 8 children, Lana, Susie, Paula, Amy, Renee, Lucas, Micah, and the late Billy, form a complex tapestry. Lana managed tours. Susie authored Heart-Worn Memories in 1987. Paula and Amy perform. Renee stays private. Lucas and Micah carry Willie's musical legacy. Farm Aid, sparked by Bob Dylan's 1985 Live Aid comment, was co-founded with John Mellencamp and Neil Young. Its first concert drew 80,000, raising $12 million in 3 years and $64 million by 2025. Tax dodge accusations surfaced during Willie's IRS woes, but 95% of funds reached struggling farmers, though the agricultural system remained broken. Willie's philanthropy extended further. Austin flood relief concerts in 1998 raised $500,000. Post 9/11 firefighter funds collected $2 million. 2017, Hurricane Harvey relief via Habitat for Humanity raised $1 million. And 2020 COVID relief concerts streamed online, raising $750,000 for healthcare workers. Willie's film career began unexpectedly. The Electric Horseman in 1979, alongside Robert Redford, saw him ad-libbing lines while high, stealing scenes. Honeysuckle Rose in 1980, Barbarossa in 1982, Thief in 1981, Stagecoach in 1986, Red-Headed Stranger in 1986, Wag the Dog in 1997, and The Dukes of Hazzard in 2005 followed, cementing his unlikely Hollywood status. Songwriter in 1984, with Kris Kristofferson, cast them as themselves, fighting the music industry. Their cannabis-fueled improv led to Kris's Oscar-nominated score. Willie's Nightlife, sold for $150, later sold 30 million copies across 70 artists. A pain echoed in the film's narrative, Teatro in 1998. Recorded in a haunted Oxnard theater with Emmylou Harris, revived 1960s gems like Darkness on the Face of the Earth, reaching number 24 country. Its 2017 reissue added 7 tracks. Moment of Forever in 2008, co-produced by Kris, hit number 56 country. My Medicine with Snoop Dogg in 2008, a country rap fusion, reached number 239 on the Dutch charts. Heroes in 2012, featuring Lucas, Micah, and Snoop, hit number 4 country. Django and Jimmy in 2015, with Merle Haggard, reached number 1 country. Last Man Standing in 2018 hit number 3. First Rose of Spring in 2020, number 5. A Beautiful Time in 2022, number 4. Bluegrass in 2023, number 6. The Border in 2024, number 12, tackled immigration. Last Leaf on the Tree in 2024, with Tom Waits and Beck covers and a Micah co-write, reached number 48. In 2015 at 82, Willie received the Library of Congress Gershwin Prize, performing On the Road Again, a 1980 #1 country hit. In Washington, D.C., weeks prior, he underwent stem cell surgery for emphysema-damaged lungs, which he described as severely compromised to the Washington Post. The incisions pained his guitar playing, but he returned to the stage swiftly. His Grammy tally includes 52 nominations since 1974 and 12 wins. The Willie Nelson Family in 2022 for Best Roots Gospel, A Beautiful Time in 2022 for Best Country Album, Ride Me Back Home in 2020, My Way in 2018, Summertime in 2016, Lost Highway in 2007, Mendocino County Line in 2002, and Stardust in 1978. He ranks 14th among most nominated artists, behind Quincy Jones and Paul McCartney. Additional honors include the Kennedy Center Honors in 1998, Country Music Hall of Fame in 1993, and a 2019 CMA Willie Nelson Lifetime Achievement Award. In 2022, at 89, COVID-19 struck Willie on his tour bus. His breathing labored. Annie turned their Texas ranch into a makeshift hospital, administering nebulizers, Paxlovid, antibodies, and steroids. It was rough, he said. Merle Haggard, lungs scarred by smoking, died in 2016. 3 weeks later, Willie returned to the stage. In 2024, at 91, emphysema flared, forcing 7 outlaw music festival cancellations. Fake hospital photos and false quotes from son Lucas spread online. "I'm just tired," Willie clarified. He headlined his 4th of July picnic in New Jersey, grinning defiantly. "At 91 plus, I don't hurt, don't feel bad, and don't fear death," he told Rolling Stone. In 2025, at 92, he was cleared for tours, lungs improving, cannabis paused for health. Farm Aid's 1985 debut drew 80,000. With Kris's They Killed Him honoring Gandhi, King, and Jesus. Kris leaned left, Willie libertarian, their debates fierce but rooted in respect. Annual Farm Aids from 1985 to 2024 raised $64 million, with Willie and Kris sharing stages. In 2009, Kris's memory began fading. Doctors suspected dementia or boxing scars from his Golden Gloves days. A 2016 Lyme disease diagnosis led to a 3-week recovery. Willie visited him in Hawaii, undeterred by Kris's inability to recall his own songs. On September 28, 2024, Kris passed peacefully at 88. In a tearful Associated Press interview, Willie called him the greatest songwriter alive, his regret thick. Sunday Morning Coming Down, Cash's 1970 Grammy winner, was Willie's lifeline. Me and Bobby McGee for The Good Times, #1 for Ray Price in 1970, Why Me and Loving Her Was Easier were anchors. Kris pulled country into the modern era, Willie said. Willie's business ventures reflect his ethos. Willie's Reserve, launched in 2015, sells cannabis products in legal states, promoting quality and advocacy. His biodiesel company, Willie Nelson Biodiesel, powers his tour bus, Honeysuckle Rose Feed, with renewable fuel. He co-authored books like The Tao of Willie in 2006 and Roll Me Up and Smoke Me When I Die in 2012, blending humor and wisdom. His political activism includes supporting Democratic candidates like Beto O'Rourke in 2018 and endorsing Kamala Harris in 2024, drawing criticism from conservative fans, but staying true to his libertarian streak. Willie's life is a ballad of survival and regret. 8 children, Lana, tour manager, Susie, author, Paula and Amy, singers, Renee, private, Lucas and Micah, musicians, and Billy, lost to suicide, mark a complex family. 4 marriages, Martha's fire, Shirley's betrayal, Connie's heartbreak, Annie's salvation, shaped him. His 74 studio albums, 12 Grammys, 52 nominations, Kennedy Center Honors, Country Music Hall of Fame, and $64 million for Farm Aid define a legend. Losses: Billy in 1991, Waylon in 2002, Johnny in 2003, Kris in 2024, scar deep. Annie, Lucas, and Micah carry his torch. Chris's ghost resonates in every chord. On Maui, Trigger weeps for truths unsaid. Willie plays on Outlaw Eternal, Heart Unbroken. Want to uncover more of Willie's journey, Chris's poetry, and the music that changed history? Subscribe now for exclusive stories, rare photos, and the next verse of the outlaw spirit. Join our community. Keep the fire burning.
Share your thoughts in the comments, and don't forget to like and subscribe for more dives into Hollywood's hidden history.